cursor on that vertical, move your cursor through there, you'll see a vertical line and you'll get 2 arrows left and right. When you get the 2 arrows left and right, left click.
Okay.
And then use your mouse or your finger,
okay.
however you're doing it. Move it.
I got it now. Thank you.
Good.
Appreciate it.
You're streaming YouTube. Not a problem though. Let's see. I think it's doing my screen.
All right, I'm admitting everyone in the waiting room in.
You see how, for some reason, it's only showing one person on YouTube. See, that's what YouTube's showing up. Yeah, I'm let's see.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him. Let me mute.
Oh, you got this.
Hey guys, so apparently on the YouTube stream, it's only showing the PowerPoint with one speaker, but nobody else's screen is like that. So we're going to take it down for today, and we'll have to experiment another time with how to actually get all the speakers and the PowerPoint on YouTube. Hey Google, call Nicole Lee.
There we go. YouTube's back.
Hey, can you turn off Trepannier's video? Thank you. Thank you. The councilwoman said, "Who's next to you?" I said, "I don't know."
All right, guys, the meeting is called to order for January 21st virtual city council meeting. Madam Clerk?
The council of the city of Harahan was unable to operate due to quorum requirement in compliance with LARS 4219 and will be meeting via video conference.
Okay, Madam Clerk, pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the
to the
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with
and
liberty
justice for all.
and Councilman Asbill,
Present.
Councilman Buddy,
Present,
Councilman Chatelain,
Present.
Councilman Johnston,
Present.
Councilman Wheeler,
Present.
Mayor Bodier,
Present.
Police Chief Walker,
Here.
Fire Chief St. Cyr,
Present.
Finance Director Todd Tunion,
Present.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry,
Present.
and Municipal Clerk Nicole Lee is present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Just have one quick announcement. We just found out that this evening that Kaz, that owns Kaz Restaurants, is he's very ill with COVID. He was moved today from the COVID floor to the ICU, and I'm sure him and his family would welcome all our prayers and praying for one of our business owners here. I mean, we love Kaz. He's a great guy if you don't know him, so please keep him in your prayers. Thank you. Madam Clerk, special presentations.
All right, special presentation number 1, Chief Walker, current state of the Harahan Police Department.
This afternoon, I received an email from the sheriff's office burglary unit. There's several individuals that are wanted in connection with multiple vehicle burglaries in Jefferson Parish. These subjects are part of several groups of offenders who are operating across multiple jurisdictions. Most of the incidents in Jefferson Parish are close proximity to New Orleans. However, some groups are armed and most of them posting individuals as lookouts as they commit these burglaries. It is believed that they're stealing cars and firearms for use in additional crimes. The pictures of the ones that are wanted can be found on the Facebook page of the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. If you see something suspicious, do not confront these individuals, but call 911. That's on any situation, especially in Harahan. If they see something, as much information as possible, dial 911 and give it to the complaint operator. Going back to your vehicles, turn off the ignition, lock your doors to your vehicle anytime it is unattended, and don't leave your vehicle keys or weapons in vehicles. As I said, if you see something, say something, dial 911. Also, don't forget the drug take back box is still located at police headquarters in the lobby, and it's accessible for your unwanted medications 24/7. That's it.
Hey, Madam Clerk, can I take a point of personal privilege and add, we'd like to add, we have one of the owners of the NOLA Gold here today. He'd like to say a few words. That is the rugby team that will be working out of the gold mine on Airline. We like it. And so, Mr. Tim Falcon, welcome. And please, why don't you tell us what you got going on?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. So I just wanted to say thanks to the city of Harahan and Mayor Bodier and Brian for reaching out to us and inviting us into your city. It's been just a wonderful experience so far, and I know we're very much in the early stages. We are NOLA Gold. We're one of the 12 professional rugby teams in America. We've started out on the West Bank, but now we've moved into the Shrine on Airline, which we're nicknaming the Gold Mine on Airline now. We're starting our 4th season in 60 days from yesterday. We kick off on March 20th, and we'll have 8 home games, 8 away games. And we're just very excited about being neighbors to the city of Harahan, being so close. And some of the real benefits, and we have players from really all over the world, 13 different countries and all around the United States. And more and more every year, they stay on. Once they come, the season's a 6-month season, but they're staying on 12 months more and more. got a family just moved in from South Africa, and they're looking for a home to purchase. We got a coach. He's from Australia, but his wife's family's up in Minneapolis. They're looking for homes. We've talked to the mayor about some larger units for the players. We actually house the players. We help them with apartments in and out. So we're, again, we've already talked about this. There's some possible units that we can purchase or work with in partnership to get our players living in Harahan. We're excited about that. Again, we're neighbors right here at the gold mine. We have some events coming up tomorrow night at 5:30. Our players going to come over. We had planned a full-blown practice session for everybody to come watch. The weather may impede some of that, but we're still going to be here passing the ball around. The players are going to have a meet and greet. I think one of your good citizens or residents is going to have us some jambalaya, so we're looking forward to that. And we also, a big part of what we're trying to do is teach kids how to play rugby, spread the game for the youth game. And so Sunday morning, we'll have a clinic for all the kids in Harahan to come out. We'll do a clinic at your park. And then we'll go into the bowling alley, Colonial Lanes, and we're going to do a little fundraiser with our rugby team. Players will be there, raising money to go back to your playground so that we can help support all youth sports, but especially the new rugby team that you have in Harahan. So we just got to figure out a nickname, the Harahan. You guys tell me how you want to call them. I don't know if you already have a mascot, but we want you to, the Gretna's got the Gretna crew, so we got to get a Harahan rugby team to take them on. So
We got the Harahan Hitmen. How's that?
Harahan Hitman, I like it. So no, but it's just a genuine, great feeling. We are a startup company, and we need so much support in this community. We need to help people understand the game. Our Rugby 101 was off the chart. I think Miss Rennie still walk around talking about our game, but we want to do more of that. And I think it's a match made in heaven. We have 10,000 seats in the stadium, and you have 10,000 residents. So let's make a partnership and get everybody out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Clerk.
Approval of minutes. Reading of the minutes of the special meeting on December 9th.
Okay, public hearing is now open. If anyone wants to discuss the minutes from the special meeting on December 9th. Okay, Madam Clerk, any hands?
No, sir.
Okay, can I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes from the special meeting on December 9th, 2020? Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Buddy.
Second.
All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Reading has been dispensed. Madam Clerk.
Approval of the minutes of the special meeting on December 9th.
Okay, public hearing is now open for anyone who wants to speak about approving the minutes of the special meeting on December 9th, 2020.
No hands.
Okay, no hands, Madam Clerk. Can I have a motion can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Buddy, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Those minutes are approved.
Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on December 17th.
Okay, the public hearing is now open. If anyone wants to discuss the minutes from the council meeting on December 17th, 2020.
No, sir.
Okay, can I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the council meeting on December 17th, 2020?
Moved.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnston. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Reading has been dispensed. Madam Clerk.
All right, approval of the minutes of the council meeting on December 17th.
Okay, public hearing is now open for anyone who wants to discuss approval of the minutes of the council meeting on December 17th, 2020.
No, sir.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes for the council meeting on December 17th, 2020? Motion by Councilman Johnston, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Those minutes are approved. Madam Clerk.
Reading of the minutes of the special meeting budget hearing on December 22nd.
Okay, public hearing is now open for the reading of the special minutes for the budget hearing on December 22nd, 2020. If anyone would like to discuss, public hearing is now open.
No, sir.
Okay, no hands. Public hearing is now closed. Can I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the special budget hearing on December 22nd, 2020? Motion by Councilman Johnston, second by
Second.
by
Second.
Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas left. I have a nay there. 5 yeas, 0 nays. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And approval of the minutes of the special meeting budget hearing on December 22nd.
Okay. Public hearing is now open for anyone who wants to discuss the approval of the minutes of the special meeting budget hearing on December 22nd, 2020.
No, sir.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting for the budget hearing on December 22nd, 2020?
Moved.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas. Minutes are approved.
Right, reading of the minutes of the special meeting on December 28th.
Okay, the public hearing is now open. If anyone wants to discuss reading of the minutes of the special meeting on December 28th, 2020.
No, sir.
Okay, can I get a public hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the special meeting on December
Motion.
28th, 2020? Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Buddy. I'm sorry. Motion by Councilman Buddy, second by Councilman Johnston. All in favor?
Yay.
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 Yeas, 0 nays. Reading has been dispensed.
Approval of the minutes of the special meeting on December 28th.
Okay, public hearing is now open. If anyone wants to discuss the approval of the minutes of the special meeting on December 28th, 2020.
Nope.
Okay, public hearing is now closed. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting on December 28th, 2020?
Motion.
By Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, communications.
There are no communications. And there are no resolutions. Ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2020-24. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Wheeler. An ordinance implementing a hiring freeze for Harahan Police Department of the City of Harahan in accordance with LSA RS 33-423.2.
Okay, public hearing is now open. If anyone wants to discuss proposed ordinance 2020-24 that was deferred on 12/17/2020, and that was an ordinance impeding the hiring freeze for the police department of the City of Harahan in accordance with LSRA-R.S 33-423.2. Madam Clerk, any hands?
No, sir.
No hands. Public hearing is now closed. All right, council discussion.
I have a comment about section 3. It seems to conflict with the verbiage in revised statute 33:423 C2A. So I suggest that we amend to add the words except EXCEPT as provided at RS 33:423 C2A, and then go on with it as written.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Buddy, but I guess the statute that we have in the packet perhaps wasn't the correct one that was placed. There may have been some confusion. We actually need 33-423.2 is the pertinent statute. But in any event, I think the council has made clear what their expectations of the police department are through the 2021 budget that was adopted. So I am going to ask the clerk to withdraw this ordinance, and we can, and if it's an issue this year, we can certainly revisit it. But I think the intent of the council has been made clear in the budget ordinance that we need to fall within a certain amount, and so that's why I'm withdrawing it.
That works.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
Okay, proposed ordinance number 2020-25. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance approving the preliminary resubdivision plat of Lot A2B1, Soniat or Chapatula subdivision City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, into Lot A2B1A, Sony Adder Chapatulas Plantation Subdivision, and Lots 9 through 14, Colonial Place, Phase 1, all pursuant to a plan made by Ronald Clement, PLS, dated September 24th, 2020.
Okay, anyone wanting to discuss proposed ordinance number 2020-25 that was deferred on 12/17/2020, the preliminary re-subdivision of plat lot A2B-1, public hearing is now open.
Mr. Mayor, point of information, please.
Yes, sir.
I will say that if anyone's looking to speak on this tonight, I am going to request a deferral of it, and I think it will be deferred. So please speak if you wish, but just know that it's likely going to be deferred.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, David Trepanier would like to speak. I'm not sure if it's Justin Smith or David Trepanier, but let me unmute him.
So, yeah, I need it already.
Okay,
I need it now.
David or Justin? Which one?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Councilman
I'm sorry.
Asbill,
I'm sorry, excuse me. I need to know who's this speaking?
this is Justin Schmidt, counsel for David Trepanier and other neighbors.
Thank you.
Okay, 909 Poydras Street, Suite 1500, New Orleans, Louisiana. Council members, if this is going to be deferred, I'm happy not to make any public comments at this time and let y'all proceed with the meeting. I do want to give an update. I know I copied the mayor and council members Asbill and Chatelaine, as well as Mr. Stansberry. Just wanted to let you know I did file a petition for writ of cert on the passage of the other ordinance 26 that was passed on the 17th. And that was based on my extensive review of the public records of the files that the city has on these, and the number of deficiencies that I found in the public records where
Mr. Mayor, make a point of order. If we can address this during address to council, because it's not pertinent to this specific ordinance, I think that would be more in line with what we need to do.
All right, Mr. Smith, are you okay with that? We'll just
Mayor, I'm happy. I was just, as I said, I mean, I'm happy not to say anything if y'all are going to defer 2025. I was just, filling everybody else in on what had happened out of a courtesy. But I'm happy to if you want me to make comments, I'm happy to comment on this. If you want to defer it, I'm happy to just let me know how y'all are going to handle it, and we can go from that way.
We do appreciate it, Mr. Smith. All right, we have a motion to defer by Councilman Asbill, second by.
I think we have to finish the public hearing, see if there's somebody else there.
I'm sorry. You're right. I jumped the gun there.
All good.
Anyone else wanted to speak on ordinance 2020-25 that's going to be deferred?
I do not see any other raised hands. No, sir.
Those are okay. So do I have a motion? We have a motion by Councilman Asbill to defer, second by Councilman Johnston.
We have to close the public hearing, right, Tim?
Right. Public hearing is now closed.
Thank you.
A motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson to defer proposed ordinance 2020-25. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion is deferred.
Thank you.
All right. All right, proposed ordinance number 2020-28. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman. Who would like to second this ordinance? Wheeler. An ordinance amending the Harahan Code of Ordinances by the addition of Article 2, Fire Watch and Standby Details, Sections 34 through 10 through 34 through 16 to Chapter 34, Fire Prevention and Protection, to set policies for Fire Watch and associated pay rates and fees for Fire Watch service.
Okay, public hearing is now open. If anyone wants to speak on proposed ordinance 2020-28.
Okay, Ms. Judy Johnson would like to speak.
Okay,
Hi. These two ordinances seem to be another attempt at money grabbing being presented by Mr. Asbill. I sent a request for information yesterday concerning how many false alarms were responded to last year by the police department and the fire department. The police chief responded with 477 false alarms for the police department. Whether they were all for fires, I don't know. But I have no information from the fire chief. Perhaps he can answer that question tonight. Todd?
Yes, I'd be happy to. First of all, your implication that this is a money grab is a bit ridiculous. Sorry to use that expression. However, I hope that we never collect a dime from this ordinance. But when we have to respond out to the same location 10 times, 11 times, 4 times, 3 times for people or businesses that won't repair their systems, their malfunctioning systems, it becomes problematic and dangerous to the community. So I asked Councilman Asbill to sit down with me and put this ordinance together as a deterrent, a tool for me to use to show these businesses that either you pay the city or you pay your alarm company, but you have to fix your systems. I did respond to your request. The city clerk requested of me that information, and I responded by email immediately within probably 10 minutes of the request. And I see where she had responded to you as well.
I have not gotten that email. I got her email that had the police department in it, but not one with the fire department.
Okay, so this isn't for the alarms. This is for a fire watch. And what we've had to do is sit fire watch at businesses several times, or one particular business, and I won't name the business because I don't want to call them out like that. And it cost us overtime to do that. And all we're doing is trying to cover those overtime costs. But we're not going to leave residents of a place uncovered or unprotected from their fire systems. We're going to stand by, and it costs the city money, and they need to repay that. And that's what this is.
All right, so after reading both of the ordinances, it seems if you are unlucky enough to have false fire alarms, the city will punish you for it. Although ordinance 2029 mentions the police chief, it seems as if you are the primary enforcer of these ordinances.
Excuse me. We're just ordinance 2028.
I know. They're both the same.
No, it's not. Let's keep it.
Two totally different ordinances.
Let me simplify the ordinances. If you have 3 false alarms in a month, there is a $100 charge plus court charges and the fine the hearing officer assigns. The 4th and subsequent false alarms will each cost $250 plus a $50 increase for each additional one. So if you have 3 false alarms in 7 days, the fire chief will mandate a fire watch standby detail with additional costs. The only fire watch I have ever heard of is in a national forest, and as far as I know, we don't have one. Besides having a fire watch person sitting in your house or business for 4 hours to make sure a fire doesn't break out seems like a terrible waste of manpower.
I have no intention to sit in anyone's residence ever for a fire watch. We cannot mandate anyone to or require anyone in a residential place to have a fire watch. This is strictly intended for commercial, and this is not to be confused with the other ordinance to do with false alarms. Okay, this is a malfunction of a fire system in a commercial property where elderly people are held.
It's not where it was.
And we have done it many times, Ms. Judy.
I understand it. Why you don't give me a number? I don't know. These costs include.
I've never been asked a number, but if you're asking, we've done it twice within the last month and a half.
So you've had two false alarms.
2 fire watch.
No, I've had 2 fire watches in the last month and a half. I've had 54 or 50.
54, Keith.
Yeah, 54 false calls in the year.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Mayor. That's the end of the lady's time. I'm not inclined to give her more time, but if another councilman would like to, then they're welcome to.
I'd make a motion to give her more time, and in the same note, I'd like to have a discussion with her.
Well, the only thing is, we have to only discuss this ordinance. She can talk the other ordinance later.
I'll discuss this ordinance.
Yeah, she's putting them both into one when she should only be talking about one right now.
Yeah, and so just to clarify for the public, these ordinances do not go hand in hand as the citizen has suggested. They simply don't.
Right.
One of these is for strictly fire watches, which can be ordered by the fire marshal or the fire chief, and the other is for false alarms. They don't go hand in hand. They can.
It's not just ordered by the fire marshal, it's mandated by the fire marshal.
Right.
Okay,
And,
would anyone else like to speak on this topic?
well, I'd
I
like
would
to
love
make
to
a
speak.
comment. It would
Well, we're
appear
going
to
to close
me
public
that
hearing first. Let's close public hearing first. Okay, no one, any other hands, Madam Clerk?
No, sir.
Okay, so public hearing is now closed. Mr. Tom, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to comment that I think the ordinance is appropriate. If we've had 2 fire watches in the last month, the city has paid overtime for that. So the citizens have paid that cost and will pay it in the future. This is an opportunity to recoup it where somebody is having excessive false alarms.
That
I
is,
haven't said that. I do support the ordinance 100%. I have a couple of 2 or 3 or 4 cleanup comments I'd like to discuss. I can do it right now, or I can do it after other people comment.
Let's go ahead and have discussion. I think I have a couple of cleanups as well. So let's go ahead and have a discussion. My cleanups will not really affect the substance of the ordinance, however. So,
Nor will mine.
okay.
So a fire watch could be anything as far as a building official going to a building, finding something in the building deficiency with a fire alarm, electrical panel, plumbing system, anything like that, gas, anything like that. They would come in and request a fire watch.
and it's only, Eric, and you know the difference being an electrician, it's only in required systems.
Correct. So if you take a commercial building in Harahan that has the fire alarm system, you're going to go in, you're going to require them to, their fire alarms down at a commercial building. You require fire watch. We do fire watches in the city of New Orleans. They'll have a commercial building, they have electrical panel burnt up. They modify it. You're waiting for electrical parts to come in. They'll have to have a fire watch and pay a detailed fireman or a licensed electrician to sit there and watch over this thing in case something happens. At the spur of the moment, they can call 911 and send out someone. In the same note, it's cheaper for them to pay this detailed on the fire department, which is a better opportunity because the fire department has a radio they could dispatch straight to the fire department if there's an issue, instead of paying a licensed electrician, a licensed gas fitter. I mean, there's numerous things that can happen. Hopefully we never need any of this. But in the same note, if we do, it's the business owner's responsibility to fund it.
There was one business that we sat fire watch for over 3 days in this community a number of years ago.
So in the same note, I don't think it's fair for the citizens of Harahan to pay for this business to be making money because they're neglecting their system.
Bingo.
So if you're going to neglect your system, just spend
Correct.
the money, fix your system. Don't waste it paying the fire department.
That is
We don't
correct.
ever want to charge this. We don't ever want to do a fire watch, but we will be prepared if we have to.
Correct.
Today, if we have to do a fire watch, we're going to do everything we can, and we have no ordinance in place to get refunded for our money.
Correct.
Anyone else? All right, Mr. Tom, you want to go into your cleanup points?
Yeah, and they may be the same ones that Councilman Asbill has. And in the definition of hiring entity, it seems to infer that this could be a third party entity hiring the fire department personnel. I'm not sure what the intention was. So the question is, who's contemplated to be a hiring entity? Councilman Asbill, can you answer that, please?
Yes, the hiring entity is the person who's going to be responsible for the bill for the fire watch.
So by way of example, the city's going to provide the fire watch. Somebody's going to hire city firemen.
The city's going to provide the fire watch. The city will pay the firemen, and the city will invoice the hiring entity, who will then reimburse the cost of the fire detail.
I'm still a little confused. Give me an example of who would be the hiring entity in an example.
Okay.
Let's just say ABC Enterprises on Hickory has to hire a fire watch, or no, has to provide a fire watch, or the city's going to provide the fire watch under mandate. Who's the hiring entity there? Is it ABC?
It's ABC. Yes, sir.
Okay. Great. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
In section 3413, we talk about the hiring entity in the first two lines is going to pay the fire watch personnel. It sounds like they're going to cut them a check, like a police detail, a business would cut a check to the firemen. In the second to last line of that same section 3413, it says the fire watch personnel cost shall be paid to the city of Harahan upon invoicing. So it's not clear, to me at least, who's paying the firemen and who's paying their costs. The second to last line would infer that the firemen going out there on payroll, and then the hiring entity or whoever else is going to pay the city. But the
That's
first
correct.
two lines indicate that the hiring entity is going to pay the fire personnel. I think it just needs to be clarified.
Yeah,
I
and
think I understand the intent.
that's one of my cleanup points. It's a misplaced A is what it is.
What
So
would you recommend, Councilman?
that first sentence of 3413, I'll just go ahead and make a motion to amend it since I'm going to say it. That first sentence of 3413 should say the hiring entity requiring the service of fire watch personnel shall be required to pay a fire watch personnel rate of $37 per hour. So move that A from A rate to a fire watch personnel rate.
Who are they paying?
The city.
The city, then you'll catch that in the last line.
Okay, yeah, but we have a motion to amend ordinance 2020-28 by Councilman Asbill to add a fire watch person rate, right? Personal rate?
Correct. Yes, sir.
And okay, all in favor?
I'm sorry, could
Second
you repeat
by Councilman Wheeler.
amendment, please?
Yep, go ahead.
Sure. So the first sentence will read, the hiring entity requiring the service of fire watch personnel, comma, shall be required to pay a fire watch personnel rate of $37 per hour.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to amend, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yeah.
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 Please, motion is amended. Is that all you guys got?
I have a question about the section 3413. If the use of equipment is required is determined by the fire chief. When I go up to the definitions, fire chief is not named in these fire code officials. I'm assuming it's as simple as adding the fire chief to the definition, Councilman Asbill.
Sure.
Which is fire, the definition is fire code official.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fire chief is covered in chief of fire prevention, but we can change it to fire chief as
Yeah,
well.
and whatever you change 3413, use a term that's already defined in the definition, or add the term fire chief into the definition of fire code official. Either one I think would work.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to amend fire code, the definition of fire code official to include fire chief.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to amend fire code official to include fire chief.
Excuse me.
Oh, Lord.
So if you change that to fire chief, say fire chief's out of town, I mean, who would make that call?
It's his duly authorized representative.
Okay, motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion is amended.
Now I have one question about how this would work practically, so as clear understanding.
Sure.
Does-
Before you go on to that, I have one more small housekeeping amendment.
Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead.
I make a motion to amend the ordinance where it says section 3. You see there's a blank there on 34 dash. It should say 16. That was just a mistake on my part when I was writing it, waiting to see how many I would have.
I'm sorry, Councilman.
At
what-
the end of, on the second line of section 3 on the first page.
Yes, sir.
There's an underscored blank there.
Yes, sir.
We need to fill in that blank to say 16.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Okay.
Now, we've made three changes. If there's any more discussion, maybe we need to go back to opening up the public hearing.
Before we do that, just to avoid any confusion in the future, the fire department's going to incur this overtime or this cost, whether it be straight time, probably overtime. This provides that the money is put back into or goes to the fire department. Does the council at the end of the year have to amend the budget to recognize that this money has been moved into the fire department budget?
Yes,
I think
sir.
it does. And
I
I'm
would
just,
think, I would think so as well.
the intention is that this money is going to be used to offset the cost of the fire department, correct?
To
Right.
balance out salaries, yes, sir.
Okay.
And
Thank-
and another discussion, I mean, guys, I mean, I know it sounds, if this was a money grab, I mean, I'd make that personnel rate $87 instead of $37. You know, this is very reasonable. It's pretty fair as you can get. Like I said, we hope no one ever has to pay these rates.
And that's an overtime premium.
And before we vote on the ordinance, I move to go back to the public hearing on this ordinance and only the amendments.
Okay, we'll go back to do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Buddy to bring ordinance 2020-28 back up to public hearing with the ability to only speak on the amendments. All in favor?
Yes. Okay.
Public hearing is now open to speak on the amendments. Please raise your hand.
No, sir.
Okay, public hearing is now closed. Now we would like, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Wheeler to approve proposed ordinance 2020-28 with 3 amendments. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion is approved with 3 amendments. Madam Clerk?
Okay, proposed ordinance number 2020-29. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman. Who would like to second this one?
I'll
Chatterley?
second.
An ordinance amending the Harahan Code of Ordinances by the addition of Article 9, false alarms, sections 58 through 90, through 58 through 99 to Chapter 58, nuisances, to declare repeated false fire and/or emergency alarms nuisances and to set up penalties for repeated false alarms.
Okay, public hearing is now open for anyone who wants to speak and propose ordinance 2020-29, false alarms.
No, sir.
Okay, no one raising their hand. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion?
I'll ask Chief St. Cyr if you can go into explaining this a little bit, explaining exactly what a false alarm is. It's not somebody burning their turkey at Thanksgiving and things like that, just so the public is clear.
A false alarm what we consider a false alarm is a malfunction in the system. Where there's a bad detector head or some other mechanical problem with the system. If you have smoke in your residence caused by cooking or whatever, and your alarm goes off and you do that 100 times in the next week, we're coming and you're never going to get a bill. But if you neglect your system and refuse to have it repaired, you're putting other people at risk. You're using up resources that are being tied up for false calls instead of responding to medical calls or other fire calls. And we have to have an avenue in which to kind of put something in front of the people to say, hey, if you don't get this fixed, it's going to cost you. Who do you want to pay? Us, and you still have a faulty system? Or do you want to pay your alarm company and get it fixed? And that's basically what it is. It's not a money grab by any stretch of the imagination. For that to even be brought up is beyond. Anyway. I hope that we never charge anyone. I would hope that people would fix their systems. You know, sometimes we get calls, repeated calls to the same either house or business for the same alarm head for months at a time, and it may be every other day or every third day.
3 times in one day.
If you had a smoke detector that you bought from Home Depot and it kept going off and you knew the first time that it was going off or malfunctioning, and it continued to do that over the next 5 days every day, would you continue calling the fire department? No, you wouldn't, because you know that it's malfunctioning. Well, just because you have it monitored by a company, they're continuing to call us over and over for the same malfunction. It's a problem. So we need a tool in our tool bag in which to combat that and make it feasible or for these people to say, hey, I need to go fix this system. And that's all that we're asking. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Anyone else? Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain.
I have, sorry, I have one amendment. It's in the whereas section, and only because I did not consult with him, and he can tell me this amendment is not necessary. The 4th whereas section, it says upon recommendation from the fire chief and police chief. I need a strike and police chief because I didn't consult with the police chief on this. But if he wants to recommend it, then I will, I'll leave it in there. So.
You can strike it.
Okay, I will strike and police chief. Move to strike and police chief from the 4th whereas paragraph.
Okay,
And how about the first whereas?
I mean, that's not really pertinent because you are charged with the protection of the public. So
Okay.
the 4th whereas. So restate your motion, Councilman Asbill.
move to strike and police chief in the first sentence of the 4th whereas paragraph.
Okay, so do I have a second? Second by Councilman Johnston. All in favor?
Yay?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. The 4th whereas is now restricted from police chief. Okay. Now, do we have a motion to approve ordinance 2020-29?
Motion?
Motion by Councilman Buddy, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay?
5 yeas, 0
Yay.
nays. Motion is approved.
All right, ordinances for introduction. Proposed ordinance number 2021-1. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance amending ordinance number 1909, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021 of the city of Harahan, Louisiana. And proposed ordinance number 2021-2. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance amending ordinance number 1909, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021 for the capital project fund of the city of Harahan, Louisiana. It's fire truck capital expense. Old business number 1, appointment of city magistrate.
Where are we at with this, Mayor? Do you know about the
Yeah,
letter?
we still have, for our magistrate right now, we have Chick Foray sitting in for us.
Chip Forstall.
Forstall.
Yeah, forestall.
Chick Forstall, I'm sorry.
I know what you
And
meant.
he's been doing an amazing job and he's been really enjoying it.
Okay, and where are we at with the letter? Anything back? Any word on when they're gonna have an answer for us?
No, we haven't really got any information back on it.
Okay,
We requested.
Expand upon that, please. Which letter?
the letter for Tiffany Wilkinson to
So
continue.
we
to
got
serve.
one response back, correct?
We got one response, correct,
That the bar wasn't going to comment.
Correct.
correct.
So who are we waiting on? We're still waiting on the Attorney General, is that correct?
We're still waiting on the agent's office.
Has anyone reached out to see if he intends to respond? Because he may or may not.
We have not. I mean, I know that we were waiting, but I will follow up and pursue it and get a response.
Perfect,
Yeah,
thank
that'll
you.
be great. So we can move on either way, right?
Right,
Move
Right.
to defer.
Okay.
Excuse me, what about regulatory magistrate?
That's on there down further.
Sorry.
Move to defer city magistrate appointment.
We have a second.
Second.
All right, second by Councilman Johnson. We have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson to defer appointment of city magistrate. All in favor?
yay?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays, deferred.
All right, new business number 1, Todd Tunion, Finance Director, monthly financials with budget to actual comparisons.
Good evening. Just a few brief comments on the financial statements through December 31st. We continue to project a surplus for the year ended December 31, 2020, within the city's general fund. Certainly, there are some line items, both revenue and expenditures, where they're either over or under budget. But in total, we continue to project, and what we're seeing as we're closing out the books at the end of the year, that we'll see a surplus in total for the general fund. We continue to see sales tax collections normalized, honestly. So the last few months, it's been at the normal rates pre-COVID. So that's been positive for the general fund and for the city. We are currently working with the City Hall staff just on closing out the books at December 31st in preparation for the year-end audit. We've done some work and had some conversations with the external auditors on the annual audit, and responded to some of their requests that we can at this time. So they've started the process, and we've started providing information to them as well. So that's where we are. Just an overall update. I'm happy to answer any questions that the mayor or the council may have.
Good. Council? All right. No questions? Madam Clerk?
New business number 2, nomination and appointment of regulatory court hearing officer.
All right, do we have a nomination for the regulatory court hearing officer?
Mr. Mayor, if you can kind of update why
Okay.
we're making that, so we can have some background.
Okay, so Stephen Pettit was our regulatory court hearing officer. He is now our new CBO, our city building official. We have retained Jeff Charlet as a consultant on a consultant basis, and Steve will be our sitting CBO. He has been certified. He also has a floodplain management as well. So in lieu of Steve becoming our new CBO and floodplain management official, he will have to step down as city magistrate over code, our regulatory court. So we reached out and we found someone new, and I'll let Councilman Asbill move on to talk about the appointment that was going to be sitting in for Magistrate Stephen Pettit, which will now be CBO Regulatory Director Stephen Pettit.
But Mayor, before you go on, can you talk a little bit? Does that two people, seems like we have now 2 people replacing Jeff Charlet?
We're only using Jeff Charlet as a resource if we need him to go back, and as a consultant if we need him.
So you don't see any increase in cost to the city as a result of this?
I do not believe it or not, it was a 50% cut in the cost for the new CBO versus the old CBO.
Great, thank you.
So on the mayor was looking for a new regulatory court hearing officer, and I recommended to him to make the nomination of Mr. Christopher Meeks. He's an attorney that lives in Harahan. He actually helped write the regulatory court procedure for Harahan, and he helped rewrite some of the nuisance ordinance that was adopted last year. And I think that it's a natural fit for him to fall into that position, being so familiar with it. And so, Mr. Mayor, if you make the nomination, I think I'd like to vote on it.
Okay, so we have a nomination for a new regulatory court hearing officer for Christopher Meeks. All in favor?
Yay.
Okay,
Yay.
5 yeas,
Abstain.
4 yeas, 1 abstention. Welcome aboard, Mr. Meeks. We very much appreciate your due diligence of coming to help our city. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
New business number 3, nomination and appointment of Planning and Zoning Commission.
So some background on this: with Mr. Meeks's appointment as hearing officer, he'll have to step down from the Planning and Zoning Commission, which he understood, and that leaves a seat open. I don't know that anybody has a nomination ready tonight. I just wanted to get it on the agenda so that it wasn't overlooked when it was time to nominate somebody. If somebody has a nomination, great. If not, I'd like to defer if possible.
I'll second it.
All right, we got a motion to defer by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson. We'll defer nominations for the appointment of the Planning and Zoning Commission. And maybe at some point during the next 30 days, guys, we can find out how many seats are actually open. We will be doing a lot more code enforcement from here on. And so having a full panel, even with the reserves, might be really good to just to get on top of.
Yeah, for the citizens, if you're watching and you're interested in serving, please let your councilman know and your mayor, and we'll take everybody into consideration. We will consider any and everybody, I believe.
That's right. Madam Clerk.
All right. New business number 4, set January special meeting for final consideration of proposed ordinance number 2021-2, which is the fire truck capital expense. Ordinance.
You might want to explain why we have to do this in such a rush.
Chief, I'll let you go on this one.
If you want me to go on that, I'll just read a letter that I had written to the council earlier. As you all know, we've been working on this project to purchase this fire truck for putting the specs together for a couple of years now. Although we're going with a different company than we had worked so long on the specs with. The original tentative figures that they came back with were way too high for what we thought it should be. So we kind of went back to the drawing board. So what I had written to the council was for first reading at tonight's council meeting is an ordinance approving funds for the department to move forward on the purchase of a new fire engine. As you're aware, I, along with several HFD employees, have worked on specifications for this truck for quite some time. The truck that we were originally working on came back with a tentative cost of over $730,000. At that time, we went back to the drawing board in an attempt to assure that we were getting the best truck for the money being spent. We've looked at several demo trucks hoping to save money. None of the demo trucks that we saw fit the need of our department or the city of Harahan. We also began work on new specifications with Sid Martin's in hopes of designing our specific needs at a better cost. Upon completion of these specifications, we were able to obtain a quote on January 12th, 2021. This quote was on a truck that fully suits our needs and is within cost that was originally hoped for. This purchase will be made by using Lamaze contract number 4400017741. It is imperative that I advise you that this quote is only good through January 31st, 2021. On February 1st, 2021, there will be a 3% increase in the cost of the truck. This cost increase is a yearly standard for the industry and this company in particular. In fact, I have been made aware that of even higher increases by competing companies on an annual basis. A 3% increase would cost us an additional $18,340.53. Therefore, I ask for you to call for and consider passing the ordinance during the week of January 25th through the 29th of 2021. And I'd also like to ask that this meeting be conducted in person to allow the public to speak to us face to face. So what happened was when we finished working on the specs, which didn't take us that long to write the specs for the second truck because we had so much experience in writing specs for the second truck, we knew exactly what we wanted to do with this other truck. And so we were able to put them together pretty quick once we started working on them. We got the price back from him on the Lamaze contract on the 12th. At the same time that he gave us that price quote, he advised us that they would have a price increase on February 1st. I thought that it was doing my due diligence to let the council know that there can be a savings now, or we can let it go to the regular meeting of February, whatever, and it would cost us the third Thursday of February, and it would cost us an additional $18,000. I don't want to try to rush this through, but had I not said anything and people found out after that we could have saved $18,000, people would have wanted to hang me on a cross. So I put the information out there. It's up to you to decide what we need to do and how do we move forward.
All right, council, it's up to you guys. You let me know. I'm free anytime.
Yeah, I think that this city needs any savings that it can get. And if it comes at a cost of $18,000, I think we ought to consider having the meeting next week and to consider the passage of this this capital ordinance so we can get the fire truck ordered and paid for at a less expensive cost than what it would be in February. And so I'm in favor of meeting next week, and I'd like to hear everyone else's thoughts on it.
I'm actually in favor of same reason. I'd rather save 18,000 and push it through a couple weeks before than not.
I'm also in favor of having a special meeting next week. What day were we talking about?
How long do we have to wait with advertisements and stuff?
Just need to be able to be advertised.
Which
Need time to advertise. The turnaround time is 36 hours, excluding holidays and weekends.
What's
So-
the earliest date we could have the special meeting?
I would say, what's today? If I send the ad tomorrow, we can have it, Thursday. I usually send the ad on a Friday to be advertised a Wednesday before the meeting.
Yeah, so it would be
That
Thursday,
would be what, the 26th, the
28th.
28th?
So Thursday or
28th.
Friday.
Well, let's just shoot for Thursday the 28th at what time, guys?
6, 7.
o'clock? Yeah, I'm good at 6
regular
p.m.
time, 7. So we can.
I'm still gonna have my discussion.
I like 6.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're gonna have a discussion.
Are we discussing this? Are we just discussing setting the meeting? Or are we discussing this proposed ordinance?
We're
discussing right now.
We can talk about the ordinance first if you like.
Well, this is just new bit. We're just discussing having.
New business, a special meeting. For the special meeting for the ordinance.
I just want to try to set a time and date. I'm looking at next Thursday, 6 p.m. What's that date, Madam Clerk?
28th.
That would be the 28th.
28th. Is everybody good with the 28th at Thursday at 6 p.m.?
Sounds good.
Okay. So
And,
then
and I'm in favor of a special meeting and let
we have
all
notice, Madam
councilmen
Clerk?
say their piece.
And we also doing it in the wishes of Chief to have it in person so people could come talk.
I propose that we have it in person.
I'm opposed to that, guys. The death rate from COVID related, or the COVID related reported rate in Jefferson Parish for the last 2 weeks has been higher than any time in the last 10 or 11 months. So I think
I'm gonna have this discussion at the end of the meeting when we have a council discussion. But I do understand y'all need to discuss if we're gonna have it in person or virtual.
I would go ahead.
Nicole, isn't our IT guy there? Is there any way that we could do it in person and maybe Mr. Buddy could zoom in or something like that? Or for those who may not want to attend? I'm just asking.
He's coming.
Okay.
Speak on that.
Yeah. We'll have to experiment with that. One thing we talked about for this meeting, possibly having one person on Zoom and everybody else physically here. We can put a Zoom session and put them up on the TV in the council chambers. But I'm trying to figure out a way when he speaks, how is his sound going to come out, to the TV, I would imagine. So we'll have to experiment with that. So we can play around with it maybe tomorrow, Monday, Nicole and I, and see if it's possible. I'm sure it is possible. We just got to work out the
Yeah,
logistics.
or even worst case, like we could just have a laptop. We could, if it can't work on the screen, maybe just move the mic to where the speaker is on the laptop, and maybe that would be able to amplify it in the meeting for those.
Right. So like I say, we'll experiment with it and get back. I guess we should do it tomorrow. I mean, I'll come by in the morning and get work with Nicole.
Sounds good.
Or maybe Mr. Buddy, that may work for you.
Oh,
Again, I'm not
me.
opposed to meeting
Yeah.
in person.
my thought is, I really appreciate the extra effort to allow me to potentially Zoom in. But I'm concerned about other individuals too. This disease is spreading, and we're at the end is in sight, hopefully, with the vaccinations. And we've just had a lot of reported deaths, probably averaging 2 and 3 a day in Jefferson Parish, which is extremely high. So we're not over the hump on this yet. But I'm fine with the council voting to appear in person, and I appreciate the fact that y'all would allow me to Zoom in. Thank you.
Yeah, I would propose that we meet in person. And I would, and I appreciate that some are more vulnerable to what's going on or have, different opinions about what's going on, and that's fine. And I would say that the governor's orders allows attendance at meetings to be virtual or by video or teleconference. And so I think we should make that accommodation if for anybody, not just Mr. Buddy, for any council person or any member of the public, we should still make it available virtually. But at the same time, I think to get the most participation possible from the public, we need to also have the in-person option.
Great.
All right. So did y'all pick a meeting date?
Thursday, 6 o'clock.
Thursday, January 28th at 6 p.m.
Madam Clerk, can this serve as waive notice?
Yes, we need, waive notice, need to waive notice of meeting.
Waive notice.
I'll waive notice.
Waive notice.
Waive notice.
All
right. Back to this ordinance on the fire truck. So I got with Councilman Wheeler earlier, and we actually called the representative for the fire company that represents the fire truck. We didn't have much time to look over this. We're putting all our faith in the fire chief. Hope he's got everything covered. The issue I have is any large business like this, when they give you a price, and I deal with ordering materials all the time. When I order materials, they say, guys, we're going to have a price increase. If I call up and I order materials and they give me a price, that price is good for 90 days, even if the materials go up. So honestly, I think it's real chicken shit for them to sit here and hold us to this price and tell us, if you don't have this done, you need to rush it. I mean, it just looks so backdoor. Do we all agree we need a fire truck? Yes, we do. Have we been working on this for a long time? Yes, we have. But to send us a quote on the 12th and tell us we have to have a signed purchase order before February 1st, that's not good business. I'm looking to see the contract from when we sign this purchase order to the date that truck will be delivered. And if the truck's not delivered on that date, I'm looking for delinquents taken back from them. So I hope we can get all this in place prior to this special meeting for me to help vote for this. Because there's other companies that sell fire trucks. Understand this is what we want. This is what we need. It's the best price we can get. But in the same note, don't rush us. I mean, it's not like we're buying a car. I mean, honestly, Councilman Wheeler nailed it earlier. She says, it's like we're at a used car lot. Guys, we have this car. If you don't buy it tonight, it might be going tomorrow. It's a custom-made truck just for us.
I'd like to point out, Councilman, that I'm just the messenger here too. And I know, I get what you're saying, but I
understand.
I can only put forward the information that's given to me.
I support the fire department and I'll do whatever I can to help y'all. That's why I'm going to sit here and say, I'm going to vote for this, but I need to see the contract on the delivery date. I know this paperwork says 10 to 12 months.
14 months.
12 to 14 months. We spoke to the guy. He said it could possibly be delivered in 9. I want to see a contract saying this thing could be delivered in 10 months. And if it's not delivered in that contract, I'm looking for my $18,000 credit. Hopefully we could get them to say that. I know I'm coming off pretty sour, but for them to rush us like that, it doesn't seem right.
No, Councilman Chatelain, I can totally agree with you 100%. And Chief St. Cyr, I'm sure we all want y'all to have this fire truck. You have to completely understand that. I don't think there's anybody that is opposed to it, but you're talking, this is a lot of money that's coming out of our capital, and to give it to us, and we now have to squeeze it in a week. Exactly. Same thing at Councilman.
I want to let you know the gentleman that I'm working with, not to cut you off, Councilman, but the gentleman that I'm working with, Mr. Lance, told me from the first time we sat down, hey, there's going to be a price increase. And I told him, I said, well, give me what the price would be now. And then obviously we know what the price increase would be February 1st.
Right.
And let's give the city the opportunity to move forward and save that money.
And Lance was great. Lance actually called. We called Lance at 5:55. Right. Lance called us back in 20 minutes. He called Wisconsin, talked to them, see what they could do. I'm not blaming Lance. I'm not upset with Lance. I'm upset with the manufacturer in general. I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar company, I'm sure, and we're dealing with spending a tenth of our budget on a fire truck. I understand we have over $300,000 allocated for this fire truck.
I get it.
And we're only coming up with the other $350,000. That's a lot of money for the city of Harahan. It's not you. It's not Lance. I guess it's corporate America.
I guess for me, in a perfect world, and we did discuss this with Lance to see if they would give us an extension until after our February meeting. So we could adopt this if those members that do want to adopt it. He did reach out to them. Unfortunately, they would not give us another extension. The only thing he did agree was giving us a little bit more time on delivering the payment. I don't think that was really much of an issue as it was just to give us more time. In all fairness to the citizens, you're asking to pull together a special meeting now in less than a week's time and expecting everybody to be here to fully discuss it. And I guess my frustration is we're just kind of hearing about this today. I know the ordinance, the proposal and the special meeting was reached out to us by Councilman Asbill. I think it was a couple of days ago. My understanding from Lance, and Eric, you can correct me on this, was that this amount was provided to you, Chief, on January 12th. We received, we get your letter that's dated today. And then Councilman Asbill, and I appreciate it, put together this ordinance and trying to call this meeting. I think it was just a couple days ago. And it's just a little frustrating. I kind of believe.
I put it together and put it on the agenda last week when it was published. Okay,
well, let me correct myself. A week ago, Jason, I apologize. But you can sense my frustration. I just feel like we're trying to rush this through and then we're just not being fair to the citizens. That's all.
And we're trying to be as fair as we can to the citizens. We want to save the $18,000. I promise you. I mean, $18,000 is a lot of money to us. I want every citizen out there to know if they're watching this, if they hear about this, if they have questions or concerns, please call me on my cell phone. Don't email me because I'm not answering. I'm going out of town tomorrow. Call me on my cell phone. I will answer it. I will call you back. I want to hear all their input. I believe most of the city feels we need a fire truck. If I was in your operation today and I had a vehicle in the shape of your fire truck, I'd be nervous every time the phone rang. Do I think it's that bad? No, but it is a life-saving device that you need to get to your job. My job's not life-saving. If I had a vehicle in the shape of your vehicle, I'm going to buy a new one. I know it's different. Public funds, you got to move different. And my vehicles don't cost over $500,000.
Well, listen, don't think for one second that I haven't had the same hesitations and almost hesitated not even presenting this proposal because of the time constraints. I just couldn't, in my good conscience, not present it with the $18,000 of savings that we could have if we are able to move forward. I've watched this city a number of times move forward on a $6 million budget in a matter of a week after a proposed ordinance. So to not present that and give the city the opportunity to at least look at and discuss and have the opportunity to save that $18,000, I don't think I'd have been doing what I should have been doing. I couldn't arbitrarily make that decision. And that's why it's before you now. So
Chief, you did your job. We're going to do our job. We're going to do our best we can to save the $18,000. We need new ice machines at the playground.
I agree.
So we're going to use this $18,000 somewhere.
Then they can quit getting my ice, which I don't mind at all.
They're tired of coming to the fire station to get ice.
Has the city seen the purchase agreement?
I have provided a packet, Councilman, that has the agreement along with the specifications in the Lamaze contract.
And when we spoke to, I can't think of the guy's name right now. We spoke to the representative of this deal here, and I asked this exact question about delivery of the machine, delivery of the equipment. And I asked him about not being fulfilled on a timely matter. You know, what are the precautions? He says, we could add whatever we need to add to the contract and they'll look over it. And the reason I'm nervous about stuff like that is, when we order stuff all the time for construction, you got it's special order, you prepay. It comes in 2 weeks late, damaged. Then what do you do? I mean, And this guy says, we're a reputable company. Yeah, so does House of Doors. They're a reputable company. Any of them. I mean, just garage doors in general. You know, anything like that, that's a special order. You know, you just got to watch what you do, and we need to cover ourselves.
Okay, so I have had the honor and privilege to be involved in all of the trucks that we have in service now, and the purchase of that, and travel to the cities in which we purchase them to do a pre-build inspection as well, or a conference with engineers, as well as a pre-delivery inspection of those vehicles. And usually it takes about 11 to 12 months for delivery of any new custom built fire truck. But I would be making a trip to Wisconsin before they start building the truck, and I will make a trip to Wisconsin before they deliver the truck to fully inspect it. And I won't be making that trip alone. I will bring a few of my guys with me in order to inspect the truck, make sure that it functions like it should function, watch pump tests with it, make sure that the compartmentation is the way that it's supposed to be, and that they're providing everything that they said they would in the specs.
Chief, we don't have that big department. Don't take too many guys.
I might need help when I'm in Wisconsin. You know how things get.
All right, a question. This price right here, that does include y'all to go do that, correct?
That is correct.
The inspection of the
Correct.
truck.
Correct.
They pay
And I
that.
save
They
the
pay
city
that.
money by not flying. I will drive.
They pay that.
Correct.
I would propose that in the next week, if this special meeting is called, I would propose that in the next week, we send this first 2 pages of the purchase agreement that's in the book that the chief gave us to Scott, to add some language regarding delivery and perhaps late delivery on that to the city attorney, so that he can provide some measures in there, whether it be some type of penalty for being so many days late or something like that. And we can do that. That's what I would suggest.
I concur. I mean, the question though is that standard in the industry? I've dealt with major equipment providers, for instance, elevator companies on high-rise buildings, and they basically don't negotiate. So a liquidated damage provision, I think, is what Councilman Chatelain is talking about. I certainly think it's prudent. And if it's an acceptable norm in the industry, then I would think that our city attorney can negotiate a provision. I was going to ask if the city attorney has reviewed the purchase agreement and provided comment for potential modification, negotiation.
Yeah,
So,
I am not, but if someone sends it to me, I'll review it. But just what you said, Councilman Buddy, they may not negotiate, so we will see. And they probably won't, but we'll look into it.
Yeah.
All right.
Guys, it's got
I would think that
450
it's
horsepower.
prudent of us to vote to have the special meeting. It doesn't determine how councilmen are going to vote at the meeting. If we don't vote to have the special meeting, then essentially we're voting to highly probably incur the additional $18,000.
Well, I think there was a motion on the floor to have a special meeting. I'm not sure if it was seconded. If not, I'll second it.
There's no motion yet.
I thought we already did, because we all waived notice and all that, so I thought we already did it.
I move to call a special meeting to consider proposed ordinance number 2021-2 only on Thursday, January 28th, 2021 at 6 p.m. and for council members to waive notice.
I'll second it.
There you go.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman.
Is it necessary to amend that in terms of virtual and in person? Does that have to be in this motion?
I think we just put it in the notice, I think. But
That's fine. Thank you.
All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
okay.
That all yays?
Yes.
Okay, 5 yays, 0 nays. Notice is waived. Madam Clerk, number 5.
New business number 5, reschedule February 18th.
Can we back up a moment, and it may be appropriate? I've got some questions. Again, I'm generally in favor of this, or I'm in favor of it, but I do have some general questions. I can discuss them on next week, or I can just throw them out there right now. One is,
But I think that probably needs to be discussed at the special meeting.
Yeah, next week should be good.
okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, new business number 5, reschedule February 18th, 2021 council meeting to Wednesday, February 24th at 7 PM.
Is there a reason? Is someone out of town or?
Yeah, Councilman Chatelain, I had reached out to the mayor. That actually, our meeting falls the week of Mardi Gras. I know there may not be a Mardi Gras, but I unfortunately am out of town that week. And I was just proposing, I don't know if anybody else is out or just, if we could just push it back to next Wednesday. I did
No
verify
problem.
with the clerk. I don't believe there's any conflicts. Just moving it to Wednesday, the 24th instead of Thursday, the 18th.
So,
Okay, in order to change this meeting, we're gonna have to open for public hearing.
Okay.
oh, I'm sorry, can we discuss what we're moving from when to when? Just, I want to check my calendar, that's all.
Moving
So
from-
it would be moving our regularly scheduled February meeting, which is set for Thursday, the 18th, to moving it to the following Wednesday, the 24th.
At the same time, 7 PM.
Same time, we're just pushing it back because our meeting falls the week of Mardi Gras. And I didn't know if people,
Okay, I was just checking to see if I had a conflict. I do
oh,
not.
okay.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay,
tell you,
but-
I'm gonna be fine with it, but I wanted to get the date so I could check my calendar.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Mayor, I know you said you need to open it up.
Okay, we're now open for public hearing. Madam Clerk?
No, sir.
Okay, public hearing is now closed. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Johnston, to move the February 18th, 2020 meeting to February 24th, same time, Wednesday, 7 PM. All in favor?
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Meeting is moved. Should make Councilman Wheeler bring us all on vacation with her.
I will bring y'all something back. How's that?
I want to go. I want you to buy my present, a gift for me while I'm there. All right, Madam Clerk.
All right, address the council. And Ms. May Jean had emailed in a comment she would like me to read. May Jean Cazenave. She said, I don't have a computer and the full agenda is not published in the paper, so there is no way for me to know what is going on at the council meetings. When will the city decide to reopen City Hall for council meetings and all other necessary meetings? That's it. And then we also have,
I'd like to respond to that, in case she's watching at home. I know we've said it many, many times, but you can always, anybody ever come to City Hall and pick up a packet or one ordinance or minutes, whatever you want. You can come to City Hall and get it. Additionally, Miss May Jean, as I've done for the past 5 or 6 months, I delivered a packet to your mailbox yesterday afternoon for you. And perhaps, I don't know why you didn't receive it, but it was there yesterday afternoon. I knocked on the door and you weren't home apparently, but it was there. So thanks for your comment.
Thank you, Councilman Asbell.
Thank you, Councilman Asbill.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
I do not see any hands raised or, yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Wait, nope, it went away. Chris Meeks, does he want to speak? Yes. Go. Let me unmute him. All right, Chris.
Okay, I'm having a problem with my video here. Oh, because the host is done.
We usually keep the videos off and just the audio for the
Oh,
citizens.
sure. So I just
As the
want to,
magistrate, Madam Clerk, would you mind turning his video on? Is it that difficult?
No, I
Turn him on.
do that.
I want to see him.
Oh, shoot. Hold on.
There he is.
you can see me.
Yes, sir.
Look, I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity to serve on the regulatory court. I've truly enjoyed my time on the planning and zoning board. It was certainly challenging at times. It was a good bit of work, but I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to now take my skills even further and apply them in service of the citizens and of the city. So thank you again for this appointment. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for accepting.
All right, Madam Clerk, we'll now like to close address the council. Secretary's report.
Secretary's report for November 2020, total revenues, $755,997. And the secretary's report for December 2020, total revenue, $1,535,672. And reports.
Chief Walker.
Yeah, bear with me. I have October, November, December, and the year-end report. So October 2020, 845 calls for service, 9 accidents reported, 151 citations issued for 225 charges, patrol requests for 11, 6 narcotics arrests, 6 charges, 1 felony, 5 city. Other arrests were 29 for 43 different charges, 3 felony, 22 misdemeanors, 18 city, no traffic. Person and property crimes, no murders, no rapes, no robberies, no residential burglaries, no non-residential burglaries, no attempted burglaries, no motor vehicle thefts, no attempted motor vehicle thefts. We had 4 larceny thefts and 8 assaults. November 2020, we had 886 calls for service, 12 accidents reported for 189 citations issued, 248 charges, 11 patrol requests again. Arrest, 3 for narcotics, 1 was felony and 2 were city charges. Other arrests were 32 for 45 different charges, 9 felonies, 22 misdemeanors, 13 cities, and 1 traffic. Person and property crimes, no murders, no rapes, no robberies, 2 residential burglaries, no non-residential burglaries, no attempted burglaries, 1 motor vehicle theft, no attempted motor vehicle theft, 3 larceny thefts, and 8 assaults. December 2020, 902 calls for service, 6 accidents, 195 citations for 276 different charges, 10 patrol requests. Narcotics arrests were 9. The charges 1 felony, 3 misdemeanor, 5 city charges. Other arrests were 40 for 61 different charges, for 6 felonies, 42 misdemeanors, 11 city, 2 traffic. Persons and property crimes, no murders, no rapes, no robberies, no residential burglaries, no non-residential burglaries, no attempted burglary, 1 motor vehicle theft, no attempted motor vehicle theft, 6 larceny thefts, and 8 assaults. The year-end report for the police department for 2020, we answered 11,065 calls for service. We handled 97 auto accidents. We issued 2,138 citations for 3,029 different charges. Patrol requests for 102. Narcotics arrests were 147. Charges were 178. There were 62 felony for the year, 31 misdemeanor, and 85 city. Other arrests were 445 for 759 different charges. 66 felonies, 486 misdemeanor, 143 city, and 64 traffic. We had 1 murder last year on Generis. We had 1 rape, 2 strong arm robberies, 1 attempted armed robbery for the year, 5 residential burglaries for the year, 1 non-residential, no attempted burglary, 6 motor vehicle thefts, no attempted motor vehicle thefts for the year, 63 larceny thefts for the year, and 80 assaults. That's it. Thank you.
Chief St. Cyr.
Yes, sir. First of all, I'd like to thank the council and you, Mayor, for supporting the 2 ordinances that were passed tonight. I think that's going to go a long way into benefiting both this department and the citizens of Harahan. So thank you very much. And I'd like to briefly talk about the issue one more time about the fire truck. And I do truly apologize that I have put you in this position or that you are in this position. However, I felt it would be neglect to not put you in this position. I am a little bit concerned about putting a tag or maybe rushing them or saying, hey, if you don't get it, maybe in the normal time that they would build a truck is okay. To say if they normally say 12 to 14 months and they go beyond that would be a problem. But to say, hey, we want it done in 10 months concerns me a little bit too, because I don't want them to rush my truck or our truck. So we do need to have a little bit of discussion maybe behind the scenes on that and what our expectations are before we would present something to them. So I'd be happy to sit down and entertain that with one of you. And that's it. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Excuse me, Chief.
Yes, sir.
We're not looking for them to rush it.
Right.
They tell us it's going to take 13 months. 13 months. What happens after 13 months?
That's
all I want to know.
Yeah, I have zero
I'm not looking
problem.
to tell them I want it in 10 months, and if they say it takes 13 months,
No.
I want the truck well built. I want every screw tightened.
That's fine. No, I agree with you.
But whatever they
With
say,
you on that.
I just need to
hold their
know.
feet to the fire on what they would typically do. I just don't want them to ask them to do it before that.
I mean, once you give them that payment, I mean, if they take an extra 2 months, what do? They already have your payment.
I agree.
You know, I mean, then we're paying legal fees to fight them. You know, I just want something to hold them to the fire. I mean,
Their
they say
standard
15 months. It's 15
what they
months.
have in the proposal is 12 to 14 months. So I would say that
11 to 13 is what.
I thought it was right here.
12 to 13 months.
I apologize. I thought it was
From order
14.
date.
It's 12 to 13.
My suggestion is you have a fixed period after execution of the agreement, not a range. So we
Correct.
don't want to go with 12 to 13 months, or we want to
Right.
have.
Give them 13 months and
Give them 13 months, put a date on it.
correct. I'm in full favor of that.
Right.
So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Councilman Asbill?
Just one comment. Earlier in the year, or I'm sorry, earlier in 2020, there was a big deal made out of the difference, the delta between the secretary's report, which is revenues, and paid bills, which is expenditures. And man, I hope that people come out and make another big deal about because it's the opposite, right? In November, December, because that's the way government accounting works. You collect your revenue at the end of the year and you spend your money throughout the year. So the total revenue for November and December was $2.291 million. And guess what? We only spent 1.05 million. So, because that's the way it works. And so I hope the public realizes that, you know, some people just throw up smoke and mirrors to try to distract you from what's actually going on in your community and don't pay attention to it. Other than that, happy Mardi Gras. Thanks, guys.
100%.
Councilman Bodie?
I don't have a report. Thank you.
Councilman Chatelain?
I do have a question. And I mean, I'm not really computer savvy. So is Mr. Trepanier and them still on the meeting? Mr. Schmidt, any of them? They're gone?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to call somebody out, basically. I mean, I reached out to Mr. Trepanier for his attorney's phone number. The attorney responded in an email. You know, Mr. Trepanier said he had permission to talk to me. The attorney responded in an email that when he got caught up to speed, he would contact me. I'm willing to talk to him. I'm waiting on a phone call. My phone number is 416-7807. I just don't want you to mislead someone and say we're not trying to communicate with you. If you contact me on my cell phone, I'm coming to meet with you, talk to you, whatever I need to do. And I did reach out to you once, and I can reach out to Mr. Trepanier again. But I'm looking forward to talk to y'all. The next response I got, as far as I'm concerned, and I might have missed something. He might have emailed me something. I'm not sure. But the next thing I got was a lawsuit. So I don't even know, and I need to ask Mr. Stansberry, am I still capable of talking to this attorney, or should I wait till I have legal representation? I'm asking Scott that question there. I don't know where to move from here. I need a little bit of help.
Yeah, we could discuss it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Councilman Johnson?
No report.
Okay, Councilman Wheeler?
Yeah, I would just like to remind everybody, and I'm sure a majority of people already have, the Harahan tax bills have gone out. I'm sure everybody has received theirs by now. If for some reason you haven't, you can easily go onto the city website and print out a duplicate bill, or I'm sure you can go into City Hall and request one. Madam Clerk, is the drop box still outside City Hall for those that want to drop their payments off? Okay.
Yeah.
So again, if you don't want to go into City Hall, there's a drop box. Please provide a self-addressed stamped envelope so they can send you back your paid receipt. You also might want to check if you have a mortgage on your property to verify that they're paying the money through your escrow to make sure that your taxes are paid. And yes, everybody have a happy Mardi Gras, and I will see y'all when I get back.
So we do have the Dropbox, and I have extended the late date to January 31st, just because, you know, with everything happening. And but yes, please get your payments in, because once they go delinquent, there's not much we can do as a city. It goes into the filing of the parish, and there's nothing we can do to help you at that point. So you got
Yeah.
1 more week. Please get it done. And
Yeah, I think there is an allotment of time before it starts really hitting those costs. I mean, I think for every month, there might be a 1% penalty, then 2, but eventually, correct, Mary, over time, it's going to turn over and there could be some extensive fees and possibly your property getting sold at a tax sale. So again, the city website, props to Terry Powers. It is very easily functioning. I absolutely love it. The links are all there. You can search by your property address. You can search by the owner name. The bills are all right there. You can even pay online. It's super convenient for sure. So, but again, oh, yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say 2% interest on your taxes will begin February 1st, but then there will
Okay.
also be the tax sale process will also begin. It's a 4-month process. It will begin on February 1st. Also, there will be an additional cost once that process begins in
Okay.
February.
I didn't realize it started as early as February. I thought it was like in April. So, okay. I appreciate that, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
So in the next couple of weeks, you guys, I'll take my report now, if that's okay. The next couple of weeks, we're going to start working on starting to put together the Wilson Street project. And we'll start to get more informative with that as we go. We may even at some point as a group or individually start, you know, putting out some Facebook videos and maybe some walking the streets, having people have a better understanding, because this is going to be a massive project. I mean, Lift Station 5 last year was a massive project. It was very centralized into Harahan Oaks, and we've had to repair other things because of it. But this one's going to stretch a good part, and a lot of people use Wilson Street, which is going to be hard to negotiate once we start this project. However, that being said, Harahan is phenomenal. Harahan is doing great things. The NOLA Gold, man, these guys are incredible just to reach out to want to be a part of our community. I mean, we should all be proud of that. We work so hard as an administration to start getting people to recognize, you know, I mean, I've heard so many years Harahan's the best kept secret. I don't want Harahan to be the best kept secret no more. I want everybody to know about Harahan. And these guys came in with open arms, and we're welcoming them with open arms as well. It's phenomenal. People are paying attention. Our restaurants are booming out of control. You know, tax dollars are up here in the city. We got some great things happening here, and we should all be so proud of every accomplishment that we've had, you know, through the past year. This year will be another challenging year, you know, but I don't call it challenges. I call it opportunities, opportunity to succeed and become better. And so I'm sure we'll be faced with quite a bit of them this year, and we'll grow and learn through our new opportunities. And that's all I have to say. And if anyone ever wants to reach out and touch me, I'm always here all the time, and they can call me on my cell or call City Hall, and they can get in touch with me. So happy Mardi Gras, but we will see you guys again before the end of January, hopefully. And Chief and I from day one have been working on this fire truck. This is something that I'm so excited about. I promised these firemen when I came in the office that they would be, you know, they would be top of my priority list. And I'm hoping, you know, for my firemen, I haven't proven myself to be wrong in that case. And getting this fire truck for these guys is phenomenal. What a reward for them. What a reward for our citizens and our community and our families who deserve the best fire truck pulling up at their house when their home's on fire. So we appreciate all you do, Chief. And you know, and Chief Walker as well. I mean, his police officer out there, they're phenomenal. Chief, you know, he's the beacon of light for these young men that he brings in here, and these guys do an incredible job. You know, I get to talk to him all the time. I got to tell you, Chief Walker, this is maybe the most friendliest police force that I've had. I've seen him stop, talk to individuals. I hear compliments on a daily basis of how great the guys are, you know, because I've always felt in this community, people should run to police, not run from them. And I think that's the department that you have really gotten built here. I mean, people are welcoming our police department. And so I thank all you guys for that. And it is always an honor to serve on this committee with you guys. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. It's all about community policing.
Mayor, I'd like to say thank you for the message that you sent me a little bit ago. I really do appreciate it. It made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Thanks.
Yes, you make me feel so warm and fuzzy too. Madam Clerk.
All right, pay bills. Bills paid in November. 2020. Total expenditures, $345,772.51. And bills paid in December 2020, $702,928.11.
Can,
No executive session.
can I ask a question? At this special meeting, can we have an executive session to go over some of these lawsuits? I mean, we've been going virtual. I'd love to have a executive session at that next meeting. Is that
Yeah,
okay? I mean, can we just
you
add it to the?
You just got to make a motion to. You just got to make a motion to amend that agenda. I would suggest doing it now so that people know.
Right.
I'll make a motion to amend that agenda to add an executive session.
Okay, we have a motion by
so
Councilman
we can
Chatelain,
advertise it.
second by Councilman Wheeler to amend the agenda to add executive session to the fire truck meeting.
Special meeting.
Special meeting.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question, and it's, I guess it's for our city attorney, and possibly Councilman Asbill may know. Can I attend that meeting by audio conference?
FaceTime or something. Yeah, I was asking. I don't know. And I don't even know if it's appropriate to have that meeting at that special meeting. I'm just
I
asking.
think it's appropriate, and I too would like to have one, and didn't think to call for it because of the technical hurdle. But if I can, when the council members leave the council, if y'all can call me from the conference phone, I really do want to attend the executive session.
Yeah, I don't think that should be a problem.
Great idea, Councilman Chatelain.
I think that you can zoom in as well and or coming teleconference. I don't think it'll be that much of an issue since no vote is taken and no action.
If your group is in the council and the mayor are in the in mayor's chambers with the city attorney, I can participate over the telephone. I don't need to be zoomed in for that.
Copy that.
For that part of the meeting.
Sounds like a winner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Clerk, we have a
Did we
motion.
vote? Did we vote on that?
No, it was,
I'm sorry.
moved by Chatelain, second by Wheeler.
All in favor?
Yay.
Okay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. We will add an executive session to the fire truck meeting.
The 128 meeting.
It's a 128 meeting.
And adjourn.
I do have a motion to adjourn. Motion by Councilman Johnston, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.